With that, we're ready to create our amortization schedule. In the amortization schedule, we will usually note the month, the payment, the interest paid in this payment, the principal, which is the amount of the loan, and the balance. Our months are going to start with 0, which is the very beginning, and then 1, 2, and if I wanted to spend quite a bit of time, I could number these 3, 4, but I don't want to do those manually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on cell A19, hold the Shift button down, drag it down to 21, and let go. So now this is highlighted. You can also do that by simply highlighting, holding the left mouse button down, dragging through, and now that's highlighted. It means it's selected. One thing you'll notice now is if you put your cursor over the bottom right of this cell, the selected range, it turns into crosshairs. And that allows you to then hit the left mouse button and drag, and you'll see that it's recognizing that sequence. If I let go now, it shows that it's up through 5. But if I want to keep going down to 360, I just drag that crosshair again, go all the way down to 360. I overshot it there a little bit, no worries, just go back. And then once you get to 360, just release the left mouse button, and it's all numbered for you 360. Since I'm now down at the bottom, but I really want to be up towards the top, I can hit the End Up button. And what that does is it goes all the way to the top of the range of values. Now the reason it stopped here at month is because there's a blank cell here. Blank cells stop that function from continuing. So end up hits the blank. If I do end up again, it then goes until it hits another value. So practice with that. It allows you to move around in your spreadsheet a little faster than what you might be used to. I'm going to drag this, I'm going to move up a little bit higher so you can see all the variables. And in our very first month, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the original opening balance, which is equal to the loan amount. Now, one thing you should notice is that when you use a range name, this range name is a fixed reference to cell C11. If you go up into your formulas, you'll notice that you can go to your name manager and click on name manager. You'll see these different names that we're using. And loan amount is 1. If we click on loan amount, we should see that it refers to the absolute reference of cell C11. What that means is that dollar sign there is telling you that we'll always refer to cell C, and the dollar sign before the 11 means you'll always refer to row 11. So this name, loan amount, will always refer to cell C11 no matter where you use the name loan amount. So I'm going to close that. Our payment, as you can tell, will be cell C14. Now I'm not going to name that payment because I want to teach another principle about absolute and relative references. Payment here, if I leave this as is to say equals C14, this is considered a purely relative reference. That means if I hit enter, it does refer to cell C14. But if I were to copy this cell and paste it anywhere else, it's possible that the column reference as well as the row reference could change. For example, if I'm in C14, I'm going to move on to it, and I hit Control C to copy, and I move it down 2 rows and hit Control V to paste, and then hit Edit, you notice that I'm now referring to cell C16. Why? Because when it was in cell B20, when that formula was in B20, it referred to C14. But now I've copied the formula down 2 rows, which added 2 to the formula. Added 2 to the row of that cell reference. So it was C14, it's moved down 2, now it's C16. And that'll work no matter where you copy that. If you change the row reference, then the formula that it refers to that row reference will also change. Now if you change the column, for example, if I go up here to B20 and I copy and I go over maybe 3 columns and then paste, Control V, you see that the column reference changed. So you see that? When it's over here in B20, it was referring to C14, which was up a number of rows and over 1 column. So now you see when I copy that formula over, it's up a number of rows and over 1 column. That is a purely relative reference. Now I'm going to delete these two because they don't belong. One thing you need to realize is that as I copy this down, Control C and copy it down, that doesn't work because it needs to always refer to the payment, which doesn't change. This is a fixed payment calculator. So you don't want that reference to change to C15, C16, C17, C18. You want it to always refer to C14. So the way to do that, I'm going to delete it again just to show you. You hit equals, click on C14, and then you want to put a $sign in front of the C to fix the column and a $sign in front of the 14 to fix the row. A quick way to do that is to hit the F4 button. That is a toggle which changes this to a purely absolute reference. If you hit F4 again, now only the row is fixed. If you hit F4 again, now only the column is fixed. If you hit it again, you're back to a purely relative. Since I want a purely absolute reference, I'm going to hit it one more time so that when I copy it down to all the other cells, down to 360, it will always refer to cell C14, as noted here. Good.